back, friends, to another edition of That Bad Movie Boy. Huzzah! Let's get right into it. You've heard of Spider-Man, Batman, and all the rest. Now, prepare to meet Lionman! That's right, friends. This time I'm taking a look at the 1975 Turkish action film, Lionman. Who is Lionman? What is Lionman? Why is Lionman? These must all be questions you now must be asking yourself, and we'll get to them in due time. Lionman, from what I can understand, was an attempt by Turkish filmmakers to create a movie superhero, a legendary warrior that people will love, a hero that people will flock to the theaters to see him fight evil. But of course they failed. It was directed by this guy called Natuk Baytan, who's made dozens of Turkish movies during the 60s, 70s and 80s, sometimes several a year. And why did they fail exactly? Well, firstly, Lionman is a superhero that's just blindly thrown into a historical epic set during the time of King Solomon. That's like freaking 10th century BC. Is Lionman supposed to be like a poor man's Gilgamesh or Beowulf or something? Now, I don't profess to be an expert at film marketing, but putting a superhero like Lionman into a historical epic featuring a character from biblical fiction doesn't exactly scream packed theaters to me. But wait, maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe it's not set during the time of that King Solomon. Maybe it's another, non-fictional, much more recent Solomon. It could be, right? Solomon, 6th century Byzantine eunuch general, governor of Africa. Solomon of Montpellier, 13th century rabbi. Solomon of Hungary. Solomon the First of Imereti. Solomon the Second of Imereti. Solomon Buzendic, Kenyan long-distance runner. Could it be set during his reign? Or maybe Vaben Louis Solomon, 21st Premier of South Australia. No, it's gotta be that King Solomon. Alright, so let's take a look at this cover, shall we? Alright, let's look how epic and badly drawn this cover is. You've got Lionman here, who's like some kind of square-jawed grimacing guy, and he's got these metal claws and they're dripping in blood. Rad! And the tagline is, blood and guts action from start to finish. That's a pretty big promise there, Lionman. So does Lionman deliver on this promise? Well, there's a bit of blood, no guts, lots of action, and more or less half the movie is those things, so yeah, kinda. Wait a second. Look at this. The spine claims that it's freaking Lionman 2. And the tape? Lionman 2. Which freaking movie is this? Even though there actually is a Lionman 2, this is in fact Lionman 1. Really? Really? So Lionman starts off with this battle, and absolutely zero exposition. Who are these guys? Who's fighting who? Nobody knows and nobody cares. These black-robed guys really suck at fighting. They just blindly rush in and get killed. They have zero strategy. Stupid black-robed guys. Why is jaunty circus music playing? Enough of that. Eventually we discover that the flamboyant costume guys are the army of good King Solomon, and the black robe guys are the army of this guy, Antoine, an evil guy whose land Solomon is peacefully trying to conquer. One thing you'll notice is how badly this movie was dubbed into English. The lines are so badly delivered and hammy.
Do you have to murder him for that? Haven't we had enough bloodshed? Why can't you let our people live in peace for a change?
Revenge. We must have revenge.
Before Solomon leaves to go home to his own kingdom, he bones this blonde lady from the country he just conquered, and she gives him a son in secret. She proceeds to be forcibly married to the evil Antoine in a ceremony that lasts literally 2 sentences.
In the name of Almighty God, and for the security and protection of our nation, I pronounce you man and wife.
Solomon returns home to his own kingdom and proceeds to bone his own wife, who also gives him a son. But before long, Antoine cunningly invades Solomon's court and proceeds to chop his hands off and brutally murder him, thereby seizing power for himself. Bastard! Solomon's wife manages to escape while heavily pregnant, all the while being pursued by Antoine's soldiers, who are all bedecked in very cheap-looking costumes, kind of similar to a live-action fantasy role-playing session, just with more Arabian influence. She eventually gives birth and dies. Turban Man here manages to grab the baby and escape before Antoine's men show up. He dumps the baby in the shrubbery, and then the baby is then raised by lions. Yes, friends, this baby grows up to be... Lion Boy! And after many years of lion stock footage pass, Lion Boy grows up to be Lion Man! Here he is in all his glory, Lion Man. This is our main attraction, friends. A huge-jawed Turkish man cavorting in the wilderness. So without going too much further into the plot, and as a bit of an introduction to the character of Lion Man, I'm gonna list my top 5 favorite superpowers of Lion Man. There are seriously so many hidden trampolines in this movie. Did the makers really think we wouldn't notice the actors jumping on these very obvious trampolines? Lion Man proceeds to jump around dispatching groups of various pathetic soldiers before eventually stumbling upon this girl, the daughter of the Turban Man from before, and one of the good guys who is leading the rebellion against the evil tyrant Antoine. She proceeds to stab him violently. Oh great, movie over! Oh man, it's not over. So the girl rows the dying Lion Man through some reeds. That's another thing. People in this movie seem to have the worst judgment. I mean, this lady just stabbed Lion Man several times, only to tell him...
You better stay here for a while.
Leave him there to stay for a while. Stay for a while and die painfully, you Turkish hussy. And here's another one at the start of the movie.
My lady, I'm going to look for a doctor.
Where the heck are you gonna find a doctor, Turban Man? In the shrubbery? She's pregnant and Antoine's men are closing in on you. Grab her and run! Lion Man is somehow saved miraculously and is brought back to the rebel headquarters, where he meets the Turban Man, Rostam, and the rest of his merry band of friends, like this muscly bald man, who he challenges to a fight. Is he even doing? He's just grabbing his neck. Punch him or something. I don't even know anymore. That was a pathetic fight scene. Eventually, Antoine's men capture Lion Man and all of his rebel accomplices. Antoine makes his own son fight Lion Man as a test of strength or something. After fighting in puffy shirts for a while, it's revealed that Antoine's son is actually Lion Man's half-brother, the other son of Solomon from that blonde lady at the start. So they embrace and proceed to escape from Antoine's lair, all the while killing many black-robed guys and jumping from many trampolines. At one point, someone even does a Hurricane Rana! Before Lion Man and friends escape, though, Antoine brings out some acid and pours it down this hole, horribly scalding Lion Man and destroying his hands. This acid can eat through solid steel, and yet they keep it in a ceramic jug. Lion Man, ladies and gentlemen. Lion Man can't use his hands anymore, and he really needs his hands to be able to rip guys' faces off. So what does he do? Ask this blacksmith to make him metal claws, of course. The claws are so prominent on the cover, and yet they only appear for the last 15 minutes of the movie. Oh, come on, Lion Man. So Antoine recaptures a bunch of Lion Man's accomplices and promises to feed them to the lions unless Lion Man reveals himself, which is, I guess, kind of ironic. And of course, it all culminates in a massive face-ripping, trampoline-jumping brawl set in an old castle courtyard. Lion Man kills a lot of black-robed guys. I would have actually legitimately loved to have been one of the black-robed extras who gets murdered by Lion Man in 1 second. And after that lengthy sequence, Lion Man throws Antoine off the parapet, everyone shouts hooray, and the movie abruptly ends. And that, my friends, was Lion Man. One hell of an insane Turkish period action movie. Sure, it had a lot of boring padding and horrible dubbing, but it was worth it just to see Lion Man jumping around and ripping guys' faces off. For those 2 reasons alone, I'm gonna give it 6 out of 10 little happy smiley faces. So until next time, friends, I'm that bad movie boy, and bad movies rule! Oh, and if anyone can tell me how many times exactly I said Lion Man during that review, I'll be very grateful.